Okay, welcome to the training on mastering your life goal setting workshops. I am a workshop, and it's not workshops, it's workshop, one workshop that we're going to be doing together today. So I'm very excited. And if this is your first time watching or being, right here on YouTube with me, I want to welcome you. If this is your first time attending any of my trainings, I also want to welcome you. So I'm a well-versed, trainer. I also am a very visual trainer. So I also understand that, people learn in different ways. So the best way that I think I can, make sure that those of you that are visual can see and those of you that, are audible can hear, I'm going to use a PowerPoint in this training. That way you'll be able to see, also the points that I'm trying to make as we discuss goal setting. It's one of my favorite topics to teach. And again, if you've worked with me and you've attended any of my trainings, you notice that I love every topic that I talk about. I love every topic that I train about. So some of you will go, wait a minute, everything is your favorite? Oh, yeah, everything is my favorite. So I hope that you will enjoy this goal setting workshop as we do this today. Oh, perfect. Guess what? It just worked. So I'm right there on the corner at the top right. I'll be right there. I'm going to keep my face there because then there's some people that like to see you, and then there's some people that just want to, hear. So I hope it's not a distraction. I'll keep the image a little smaller right there on the corner. My name is Dr. Stem. It's short for Stembile Matlatini. I'm originally from Zimbabwe, but I'm based in Orlando, Florida, the land of the sunshine, right here in the United States. And I'm excited to bring you this workshop. I'm a licensed psychotherapist. I provide counseling, coaching, and I work with companies to provide what we call employee assistance programs, where I bring in trainings and coaching, leadership coaching, life coaching, business coaching, to organizations as well as individuals. So let's get into mastering your future, a goal setting workshop. Goal setting. Setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. You know how many of us will have, I want to do this in my life, or this year I want to do this. And we're always talking and thinking. And if you're like me, if I see somebody else who's doing something that I've always wanted to do, that's when I will say it out loud. But otherwise, many a time, it's like, oh, I'm not even going to say anything. Well, I used to be like that, but now I know how to do goal setting and I know how to make the invisible into the visible. Why do we set goals? We set goals to establish your destination, to make true of your vision, your wants, your desires, rather than just talking only. My mom, always, says, she still says it today. Some of you are just talk. Okay, next year I'll do this. Oh, you know what? Next year I'm going to be at this place here. Next year, next year, next year. Well, to avoid next year I will be, and then nothing comes out of it, establishing goals will make sure that you reach your ultimate destination. It also helps you to identify the roads that you need to take to get there, or the steps that you need to take to get there. It also helps you to know when you have arrived at your goal rather than keep going and going and going. For fellow Christians, there is this good verse. I was going to say favorite verse of mine, Proverbs 29, verse 18. Where there is no vision, the people shall perish. So a goal without a plan is just a wish, a wish, a wish that never gets fulfilled. A goal, as I said at the beginning, it's the desired result that a person plans and commits to achieve. A goal is a desired result of whatever it is that you set your mind to achieve. Goal setting involves the development of an action plan to motivate and guide you towards achieving that goal. So why do we set goals? Why is it important? I put together a few, reasons why I think goal setting, is a must in our lives, in our businesses, personal and professional careers. It's a must. Goals push you forward. Goals can help you define success. As you know, success definition is, a varied explanation or definition for different people, but goal setting will help you define your own personal success. They help you create a measuring stick on how you get there. Goals lead to action. When you've written it down and it's there and you know that I have to get there, there's no way that you can get there without taking action. I remember I was having a conversation just before, I presented this workshop with one of my sisters, and I was telling her that I asked people, what is your word for the year? And I put in manifestation, and somebody wrote under my word and said, well, manifestation will not get you anywhere. I didn't realize it then, but I'm telling you, as soon as I saw that comment, manifestation will not get you anywhere. I'm thinking, wait a minute. What do you mean? I set my goals. I've been working on not only my 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, 10-year goals. So I have 1 year and I'll have month to month where I broke them down. And, I'm working and I'm seeing that with the way that I've been working my goals, of course, manifestation will get me there. But this is me thinking, right? I answered that person and I told my sister that I told that person that, yes, manifestation is my word and I'm keeping that because then I'm thinking of myself as a farmer. When a farmer plants, in their field and they tend to the field and they water the field and they, pluck out the weeds in the field and they continue manning their garden, they will harvest no matter what, because they've been going at it, doing action, looking at it, making sure that the birds are not eating and making sure that nothing is coming to crumble it out. And that's how I see my life. And that's how I see my career, at this point in my life, that I am that kind of farmer. So manifestation is like harvesting, reaping the rewards, because I know I've been manning, I know I've been watering the gardens, I know I've been doing the things that I need to get in the trainings, putting in the work that needs to be, put in. I've put in the actions and continuing to do so. So manifestation means harvesting to me. And that's my explanation of manifestation. Well, just in case you too were wondering, well, you just can't manifest. My sister said, well, when you hear the word manifestation, it's those people that just says, okay, I'm going to manifest and I want this to happen in my life. And they just sit there and they meditate and they just expect things to happen and things to shift in their lives without any action. I said, well, whenever you're manifesting, you have to act on something. And to me, meditation helps for your mind to calm and then for clarity, for things to be clear in your life. But I never thought of it that way. That's how maybe that lady was approaching this manifestation. Anyway, goals lead to action, and goals help you set priorities. Goals will also help you communicate meaning of what it is that you desire or what it is that you're after. It helps you to track progress, to increase morale. As you could tell when I was explaining about this farmer and having done this, you could tell that my energy was like raising because I'm excited, right? About that. That's what goal setting will do. It helps your morale, to increase your morale, because you're certain that you'll get results. You're certain of the path that you have to take and the things that you need to do. It's clear. They're just clear as day. And it's easier to pick one step at a time and walk towards your results that you're looking for. And lastly, goals can help increase self-confidence. And self-confidence is everything. Self-confidence is everything. Well, Talking about self-confidence, if you are here on my channel on YouTube, Dr. STEM, be encouraged. You also see that I have, an ebook, Audible ebook that I read and talk about the steps to building unshakable confidence. Check that out too, because that's really, good. Goals help you push, they help you to push forward, as I said, and also define success. So don't forget, because those two, pushing forward and defining success are really key, because without the energy or the direction to push forward, you might as well not even have the vision. It will perish. Two types of goals: short-term goals and long-term goals. In short-term goals, this is something that you want to do in the near future. The near future can mean today, this week, this month, or even this year. But they are short-term, concrete, succinct, and something that is doable within a short period of time. Whereas with long-term, you also have goals, but then with these goals in the long term, there might be goals that might take longer than a year. So in the short term, I usually put it in the year mark, that today, 1 week, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months, that short-term goals. And then when it comes to anything that's longer than a year, then that takes longer to achieve. I put it in the long-term buckets. Inspiration. I'm a motivational, inspirational person. So I like sometimes to just break the monotony, if I'm in a training or if I'm a learner, and say, okay, what's practical? So here's the practical story. This is a fellow lady from Zimbabwe. I am from Zimbabwe. So I love the story of Tererai Trent. Mrs. Trent is a person that I always give as an example, because she's one lady that grew up in a rural area in Zimbabwe. But then she was a big dreamer, and she grew up in the time where education was for males and not for females. So she wasn't allowed to go to school in the times that she grew up, but her brother was going to school. So what she did was she would learn through helping her brother. When her brother comes home and is doing her homework, she would sneak in and go and do homework with the brother. And sometimes she even did the homework for her brother in order for her to learn. And that's how she was able to increase her knowledge through the work that her brother was bringing home. But one day, a visitor came to the village and was talking to the girls and, asked, "What is your vision? Who can share their vision and their dream with me?" She raised her hand and she said, "I am Tererai Trent, and I want to go to America. I want to get a bachelor's degree and I want to get my PhD." Great dreams. So her mother is the one that said, "Tererai, why don't you write those down? The dreams that you say do you have, why don't you write those down?" So she did. Obliged. She wrote the dreams down. I want to go to America. I want to have earn the bachelor's degree, and I want to earn my PhD. At 18, she got married, and she had 3 children by the time that she was 18. No, she got married and she had 3 children by the time that she was 18. But then, that dream was still there. Guess what she did with the goals when she wrote the dreams and wrote the goals in there? Put them in a can and then dug them and dug a hole where, she used to tend the cows, and put it in there, the dreams in the can, and then put them in the hole, right? Years later, opportunities came. She was married, and her husband were able to get an opportunity to come to the United States. Not only did she get her bachelor's degree, she also is a PhD as we speak today with her family. So writing goals works. And what happens is when you write those goals, for some reason, you continuously, she continued to get into school where she was, learning. And I think at some point she was allowed to get into school, to also learn, as her story goes. But then she got an opportunity to come to the United States. And that was part of her goals, and that was part of her vision. So writing down goals works. Having a vision and a dream of where you want to go works. So the question is, what do you want? What are your goals? What is your vision? Where do you see yourself? A week from now, a month from now, a year from now, 20 years from now. Well, let's start with 5, 10, 20 years from now. With her, she actually became Oprah Winfrey's all-time favorite guest. She made that list. If you want to know more about her story, go on YouTube and just put in Dr. Trent Terarai, or you can put in Oprah all-time favorite guest and hear her speak of how she was able to write her goals down and they became true, So let's talk about goal setting and motivation. It does need motivation because then sometimes we just think, oh, everybody talks about goal setting, but then what's the purpose? Because my goals never come in. I want to encourage you and inspire you to be able to believe in what has worked with other people. And goal setting and writing your goals down has worked continuously for years and years for other people. The purpose of the goal is to give you something that you want, right? It's also something to enhance your life in some way. So without having to do the steps and following the steps of how to get there, you probably will find yourself year after year as one of those people that says, next year I will, this year I want to, and I want to make sure that I get this and that in my lifetime. But then you end up at the same place, same time, year after year. So the most important thing that you need to know about goals is that you ought to have goals. You have to have goals. As I said, they're short-term goals, 3 months, 6 months, 1 week. Start with the small goals. Because then sometimes when we do start with the big goals, right, we get discouraged and then it's like the pressure of having to achieve those. And don't worry, we're going to talk about how to, set up the goals, and everything. And in here, I put in examples of passing an exam or participating in a marathon or even, having a live on YouTube or doing a training like I'm doing now, where you're recording yourself doing a training. That's a goal and that's achievable. And then when it comes to long-term goals, as I said, they're 1 year, 5 year, they're longer, building a house or even buying a house, starting a business. Could be a long-term goal, or maybe you've started a business already and you want to bring in $1 million a year in the business. That could be a long-term goal, for you, bringing in $1 million a year in your business. It's always good to classify your goals in different categories. And I put 4 different categories for you here: personal goals, social goals, financial goals, and career goals. Let me just go into each one a little bit, more. So for personal goals, right, this is a goal that talks about personal improvement, physical improvement, intellectual improvement, mental improvement. So an example could be running a marathon, maybe even getting into counseling and for your mental, so you can process some things that are happening or that you need to process. Maybe it's managing your stress better. Again, that might require you talking to someone about stress management. Those are personal goals. Social goals, for an example, I know when I say social, a lot of people think, oh, well, social media. Well, maybe that too. You might want to connect with more people on social media. But for an example, getting a job will require you to socialize with people and network with people. Buying a car, will require you to be able to also talk to people and socialize with people. And that's a social goal of maybe, changing your own car and driving in a whole different, car. Financial goals, of course, saving money, making more money, that could be on your plan for, financial goals. And remember now, the more valuable you are, the more that you can also earn. Tax planning, paying, planning your taxes. We're in the United States. If you're here in the United States, oh, Uncle Sam has to get his own money. Career goal. And as far as career goes, it might include going back to school, but then with the technical companies that are there these days, and also, online learning that you can do, it's so easy for a career goal to be able to learn new things about, a new career. It's also easier for you to transition into another career by looking online for jobs, online, and networking with other people, and maybe even career goal of, being promoted in your current organization that you're in. That could be it, or even, going into another department. If you're in a job where you want to try out in the finance department because you've been in another department, that could be a career goal that you might want to set. So again, goal setting. This is a process where now you get to decide what you want to accomplish, and then you get to develop the steps of how you will get there. So it's almost like, I put in an image of a cube, because then, you know how you have that cube where you'll be putting in the sides and playing the cube. So with goal setting, it's almost like now you're putting together the pieces to make sure that your cube is perfect. When it comes to mental, benefits, I know I spoke about some benefits at the beginning, but I didn't want to be amiss to not talk about also what goal setting, could help you as far as mentally, right? You suffer less from stress and anxiety when you are setting your goals, because many a time when our mind are going all over the place and we're not quite clear about what it is that we want, it's really difficult to focus and also be mentally stable. You concentrate better, because then at that time you'll have clarity. When you've set a goal, you have clarity, and also the steps, because remember, now the goal setting is the steps that you will be taking, and then with that becomes more confident, and also it's easier to be an expert in a field when you've set the goals and you're beginning to learn more about your field, about what it is that you desire. Guess what? You end up being the one that will be teaching others in that same field or same thing that you want. So I love the fact that goal setting just brings it all together, where you are able to perfect whatever it is that you desire or you want in your life. So before you begin goal setting, it's important to know what qualities that you have, because then many a time when we don't have a process of doing something, it becomes like, what? How do I do this? And more confusing. You've heard about the SMART. I'm sure you did. If you were in a live class, I would be asking, have you ever heard about SMART goals, or SMART as a process of setting effective goals? Many hands would be up. In fact, by now, I think almost every class that I do, all the hands go up. So we're going to talk about, SMART goals. What is a SMART goal? This is a way that will help you to set your goals in a nice, succinct way that is simple to understand and simple to follow. The S stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. Let me get into that in a little, more detail. Specific. The goal that you set should be specific so that you know exactly what it is that you desire. So for an example, I wish to achieve, pass in the exams. Well, you want to pass the exams, but it's, yes, it could be specific, but I think you could even make it, I want to get a 90% in the exam. You see? So that's even more specific than I want to pass the exam, right? Or I remember when I was writing my licensing, the passing mark was 75, I think. And I say, I want to get at least 80 or 85. Because if I aim for 75 and I miss it with 1 point, then guess what? I haven't made the 75. Well, I had to try it, and I don't want to lie to you. That exam was so hard. It's been over 20 years now, but I had to take it 4 times. 3 times I was missing it with 1 point, with 2 points, and I think I did with 1 point twice, and then with 2 points, missing, the 75 mark. Until the fourth time that I took it, I said, you know what? Now I need 90%. Because if that's the thing that I'm keep getting it, I need 90%. Finally got 80, the 80 that I had in the first place. And then boom, I passed, right? So specific. Here are some of the answers that, questions that you can ask yourself if you want to make your goal specific, which we have to make it specific. Who is taking action? What is the result that I want? Is there a specific location? When do I want to complete this goal? Are there any restraints or requirements that have to be met? And why is this important? That's the biggest one. Why is this important? What specifically is the benefit of me achieving this goal? That's the most important part, that why question. Then let's look at measurable. Your goal has to be measurable, right? So you should be able to answer very specifically when and how you will know that you have achieved that goal. So for an example, if you have a measure for the entire project, as in our example, let's say 750 customers that you want, right, daily to achieve your goal. Of course, when you get to that 750 customers, that you've achieved your goal. Let's say you want to make sure that, as we were talking about, getting a promotion, and that's one of your goals. So then part of that is talking to the managers up above on what it is that you can do in order to be promotable, right? What values, what qualities do they have a requirement education wise? And they might say, let's say you have a bachelor's degree, and they say, well, in order for you to be in the management, you need to have a master's degree. So how will you know when you write your goal? You will write in there that I will have finished 2 years master's degree, and achieve that. Then it becomes measurable. So the questions, for the, for you finding the measurable part is how much, how many, how often, how will I know when I've reached my goal? So have the specific numbers, and if I get it in 80%, then I know that I've achieved my goal, because now I've passed. I'm licensed because I have 80%. Right? So find the numbers, and also how much you have to do, or how many that you have to have, or how often you have to do something. And then you will know that it's now measurable because it's specific on what it is that is desired. To make it achievable, right? If a goal is not achievable, then it'll be hard, difficult to make it happen, right? So make sure that you pick a goal that you know that at least, you know what, this is achievable. Let's say what you want to go to the moon, right? That's a long-term goal. It's achievable, but it's a long-term goal. So what keeps the motivation going is setting practical, small, achievable goals at a time, until with increment, you get to the part where you now can get to the moon. And I'm going to give you examples at the end, of some of the goals on how you can set this up. Your goals must also be realistic, something that is, again, achievable, right? You want to aim high, but not too high that it's actually impractical, and it cannot register in your mind as something that you can attain. I'll tell you, one of those things is when people say, excuse me, I want to earn $100,000 a month. And it's like, it jilts their heart, mind, and everything. Like $100,000 a month. Okay, that's achievable. How long do you have? Remember, we wanted that measurable. And they say, well, I want to start next month. Okay, fine. What do you have in place of the things that you'll be doing in order to get that $100,000 a month? Now we get to the realistic practical part of it, of the goal setting. And if that's not something that you can come up with to say, oh, yeah, this is my idea, and this is what we're going to do, and this is what we're going to the steps that we'll be taking, then it might not be realistic. Do something that is realistic, because then when you do that, it's easy to come up with the practical steps that you need to do. Some questions that you could ask during the analysis of whether it's realistic or not are, do I have the resources? That is the finance, the personal, the equipment to reach the goal. Do I have the support of those people that I need? You don't have to have the support of everybody and anybody who doesn't have anything that they could contribute to this, vision that you have or this goal that you have. You just need the support and knowledge and, probably participation from those that will help you achieve that goal. Big difference. Because sometimes if you share with those that do not understand it, that do not have anything that they can contribute, it's very easy to get discouraged, and then you give up, and then you don't do it anymore because they can't see it. The biggest reminder I can remind you is this is your vision, your goal. So the best person that will be able to see it, envision it, and be able to work at it and make sure that it's realistic is you. I love this picture. I put this picture because then, when you're talking about realistic, right? Look at that fish. So you're talking about jumping from this little thing here into there. It needs a little bit more effort. It's doable, you know. I mean, but then when there is not enough latitude, power and energy to get there, it might not. It might need a ladder or something, somebody pushing it forward or something. But to look at it in this way, where it is now, this is like unrealistic, for this fish to be able to jump, that high and go in there. All right. So T is for time, that time bound. So a goal must always have a time limit. By 50, I need to have gotten my bachelor's degree. I need to have saved this much money. I need to have traveled this many countries. And I'm just giving an example, but you have to have a timeline. Within 6 months, I need to have done A, B, and C. Within a year, I need to do A, B, and C. Within a week, I need to make sure that I start walking for my exercise. And how often do I start walking? I'll do 15 minutes a day just to walk 15 minutes, just so I can at least do that 3 times a week. Or I can do 30 minutes and do it twice a day. Time bound. It's got to have some time to make it achievable. Here are some reasons why goals fail, because they do fail. I mean, you have every intention to set the goals and make sure that they're working, and then they do fail. Sometimes the goals will fail because they're not detailed. You didn't specify the rewards for achieving those goals. That why it wasn't, there wasn't good enough why that you wrote in there that would continue to motivate you, encourage you, and, energize you. And sometimes the goal was not smart enough. It did not address every word of the SMART that we talked about, the realistic, the timing. Sometimes the goal is really believable, not believable, really not believable. And that's the biggest one, because if you cannot conceive it and see it and feel it and know that it's achievable, you might not be able to achieve it. It fails. Sometimes the biggest thing is keeping, changing and switching with the weather. This month I want to do this, and that month I want to do that, and this. Well, and we all go through that, especially when you're in business. You try this and you try that and you try this and you try that, but then eventually you see that, you got to stick to one thing. You got to stick to one thing. That way, now you can monetize on that one thing. And when you monetize on that one thing, then you can start spreading your wings. So sometimes that's the reason why goals fail. Changing like the weather. The goal becomes a secret. Well, if it's something that's going to involve others and requires other people, or others' participation or input, or even, let's say buying, purchasing, and it's a secret, it's going to fail because then you don't get the help and the support that you need. So take a look at these reasons why goals fail. And I'm sure you can go through each one of them and be able to check to say, nope, mine is detailed. The rewards are there. It's got covering every aspect of SMART. It's believable. I believe it. I know it. I want it. And I know that it's going to happen. Right. And okay, I've switched around many a time, but you know what? This time, this is the one goal that I want to stick with. Choose that goal. And then make sure that people know about your goal. And it's so easy these days with social media of just, sharing, maybe creating a small group and just having a small group of people in there that you all can share your goals, your ideas. It's really good and doable. And if you would like to also explore our membership, we have a membership on the Dr. STEM Empowerment Academy. You can find it on our website, drstemi.com. You could come in and become part of our tribe. We are the Best Life tribe, and we always do this where we share ideas and people talk about their ideas, their goals, and then we give each other input and we work together. It's awesome, and also celebrate each other's wins. Setting effective goals. I like this quote from Brian Tracy. He said, the establishment of a clear and central purpose or goal in life is the starting point of all success. So can you imagine if you're a person that always wanted to be successful and you're working towards success and that's one of your desires or things that you talk about, but you don't have goals? It's a good thing you're here because it says, without a vision, if you don't write it down, the people shall perish. I also like the other one that says, write it down, write your vision down. And then you have not because you ask not. So many a time when you write it down, you already are asking in the sense that you're writing it down and saying, I want this, and this is what I will get. So as a result, it is your first step towards setting effective goals. So first, identify what is important to you, what you want to achieve. And then make a list of what you feel are the most effective ways of you reaching those goals, as well as the people that can help you achieve those goals. One of the lessons that I learned that really encourages me and inspires me is there's nothing that I want to do that nobody else has ever done. So because there are people that are way ahead in my profession, in my business, in everything that I do, there are always footprints of people that already have set precedents on doing the things that I want to do. So also, don't underestimate the fact that there are people that already have done some of the goals or all of the goals that we want to do. Look to those and see who has done it, how they have done it, and everybody shares how they have done it, right? Select one strategy that will work for you and then work with that. Tom Hopkins said, an unwritten want is a wish, a dream, and it never happens. The day you put your goal in writing is the day that it becomes a commitment that will change your life. So are you ready? All righty. Let's talk about self-motivation. Being excited, being energetic, believing, and having a faith. So many a time when we begin the year or when we begin talking about what goals that we want to do, we're so motivated and we're so encouraged and, I want to do this year, and then we lose the motivation. What makes us lose motivation? Lack of confidence, not believing in yourself, not having the right resources or knowledge of how you get there, lack of focus, and also lack of direction. So don't worry if you make a mistake, because you're going to make mistakes. Don't worry if you don't reach your goal, because sometimes you'll miss the goals. Making mistakes is one way that we can learn and improve. Failing is also one way that we can learn and improve. All right. There's no one that has never made any mistakes. When you see all these people that are successful, they've made mistakes over and over again. You know what the big difference is? We always get up. We're never discouraged and lose sight of what our goals are and what it is that we desire. Never lose sight. We always get back up, get encouraged again, get inspired again, and get at it again. And sometimes you have to go back to square one and learn everything again, and that's all right. So the willingness to always pay for it, whether it's paying with time and paying monetary, because you've also got to pay, for all the knowledge that you will need. So either way, that's a step, that will motivate you. So see if you can feel happy about your life, happy about the goals that you're trying to, achieve, because happiness generates more positive energy within you. And the energy is important, because then when you're energetic and you're happy and excited about it, it's almost like every day you want to put a check towards having worked towards your goal, a check mark towards having taken one step forward towards your goal. So that's why it's important to be motivated. Get out of your comfort zone. You need to get familiar with unfamiliar surroundings, so that you can explore opportunities, you can connect with new people, and you can also get new, knowledge. You can also gain new knowledge, in unfamiliar surroundings. Think the unthinkable. And when I say think of the unthinkable, it means think yourself successful. See yourself successful. See yourself able and capable. Because many a time we see or we write goals or we think of goals and visions of things that we want to do. And it's like, whoa, am I going to be able to do this? Of course you can. My motto is, if somebody else could do it, man, woman, old, young, if they can do it, or if they could do it, then I can do it. There's nothing that anybody else has done that you and I cannot do. So think of the unthinkable. Read and listen to inspirational materials. It's interesting how we have hundreds and thousands of motivation and inspiration on YouTube, right? And people are always wondering, why do we have so much? Because it's very helpful. And when you hear from someone that has been there, done that, when you're inspired by somebody's story or what they share, it's really helpful to get you going, knowing that, you know what, I'm not alone. And neither am I the first to go through the struggles or the challenges that I'm going through right now. I want to invite you to be a part of the channel. If you're not, subscribed yet, the Dr. STEM Be Encouraged channel, to subscribe to it so that you can be notified of any programs that I bring in or any motivation or inspiration. And I'm always also inviting anybody who has any inspirational story or any inspirational information that you would like to share on my channel, please reach out. You and I can have a conversation that we can record and also involve other people. But I want what you're doing to be known. I want your goals to be known. I don't want it to be a secret. So I want to be a part of that, a tribe that will help you spread the word of what you're doing. So just reach out to me and we can do an interview and I can talk to you about what your vision and your goals are. All right, now we get to the nitty gritty, how to set goals. I know you've been waiting, like, okay. Can you get to the point already? We are at the point. So it's very frustrating to not have a vision of where you're going. It's very frustrating to not know how to get to where you're going. The question is, do you know what you want? What is it that you want? Do you know what you want? Personally, professionally, your career, your business, do you know what you want? Because when you know what you want, it's now easier for us to determine the steps that you will take. And it's easier for you to get the energy and the courage to go through the steps, no matter how hard or how difficult that they might come. We spoke about specific, SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound goals, that it makes it much easier for you to set your goals. So I want to suggest that you go back into that, section where we spoke about it and go through each one of your goals and make sure that they cover the SMART goal process. So here we go. The first step is to identify your goals. What is it that you want? What is it that you want to achieve? And then we go to setting the objectives. When you set the objectives of your goals, it is easier to also list the obstacles, the things that might prevent you from achieving those goals. And then once you list those, develop a plan, list the skills that will be needed, and then you identify the people that that will be helpful to you. In fact, I did it the other way around. Wait, when you list the obstacles, then you identify the people, because then once you get through the obstacles, it's easier for you to say, okay, how do I deal with each of these difficulties or these challenges that are there? Then you go to identify the people, then list the skills that are needed so that you can go to school or you can get trainings, and then you develop a plan. Once you develop your plan, now it's easy to list the benefits of your goals that you're setting up. I told you that I would give you some examples before we end. So here are some examples. Let's say you are setting a SMART goal for improving your job performance. And we're going to go through the SMART. Specific, you're right, I will redo my company's website and launch it by August 15th. Measurable, I will accomplish this by hiring 2 graphic designers and 1 web programmer. Attainable, with their skills and my own experience, I will attain the goal of having a functional website that will be up and running before the official launch. And I'll do this by working on my website. Remember the time, 5 hours per week. Relevant, redoing my company's website design will be the first and fundamental step in impressively showcasing my company to the world. Remember, we were talking about don't make it secret, make sure people know it. Time bound, I have to achieve the goal in 3 months, which is about 60 hours of time that I will spend on revamping my site. Is that clear and specific or what? Let's take a look at another one. SMART goal for living within a budget. I'm still working on this one. I'm still working. It works, but I'm still working at it. Every year, it's on my goal list. Specific, I will create a budget of $3,000 every month and spend 15% less. Measurable, I'll keep a close watch on what I spend, keeping a record of every expense and ensuring that I spend less than my budget of $3,000. Attainable, my average monthly spending is $2,800. Thus, I try my best to curtail my expenses within the budget if I don't use my credit cards. Relevant, curtailing my expenses within a budget of $3,000 will prevent me from splurging on items by impulse buying. It will help me in saving more, make me more responsible, and practice sustainable minimalism. So here in the United States, we have what we call debit cards. And now one of the things that I've done throughout the years is to minimize the use of debit cards, because when you have that card and you know that you've got, it's easy to just swipe it. So I will take some cash put cash in my wallet. And whenever I need to buy something, I'm looking at it and saying, I only have $50 left. So I can buy all this other stuff there so that I don't just swipe the card. Time bound. The goal is to develop a fruitful habit of living within the budget of $3,000 every month throughout this year. Just like any other habit, when you're used to it and in your mind it's ingrained that it's $3,000, not a dime less, but excuse me, I need to actually save in addition to that. It's almost like it becomes a habit and it will make it easier and easier as you go. This one is a good one. We all want to lose a little weight every year. And every time that we set goals, if you ask people, what's your goal? They say, I know I need to make a goal about my, losing weight. So instead of making it a goal about losing weight, how about we make it a smart goal for eating healthier? And eating healthier will ultimately reduce the weight or also giving you good, healthy habits. Okay, specific. I will eat a minimum of 5 servings of fruits and vegetables daily by June 30th. Measurable. The goal is to go grocery shopping once a week and buy X amount of veggies and fruits that can cut up in daily serving sizes. Attainable. I have experience in meal prepping before, therefore I meal prep for the week on Sundays. I know I can work towards my goal of making it a daily habit. So Sundays, when they put it in as Sundays, it's almost like it becomes programmed that every Sunday is meal prep time. Relevance. I aim to eat 5 servings of fruits and vegetables so I can cut out unnecessary junk food and save more money in the long run. And then time bound, the goal is to make eating 5 servings of fruits and vegetables on a daily routine basis by June 30th. And then this one goes with the losing weight one. I broke it into 2 because if we put it just as losing weight, you have to manage your eating, you have to manage your exercise. So make your exercise a whole separate goal setting. Smart. I would do low impact exercises for 20 minutes per day, 3 times a week. Measurable. I will measure my progress using a fitness tracker and calendar, making sure I complete my 20-minute workout. You also could make it measurable here where you say, I will do 15 sit-ups, a week and do 2 circles or, cycles, whatever. You can make it as specific as you want. Measurable. Attainable. Scheduling workouts for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is manageable for me in the long term. Also, keeping it at 20 minutes will help build up intensity, allow me enough time to benefit from the cardio, and at the same time, keep it short enough not to hinder my daily routine. Relevance. Working out for 20 minutes every day for 3 days a week will give me the amazing benefit of moving from low impact to high intensity workouts whilst I'm managing and sustaining this routine long term. Time bound, I will work out a minimum of 20 minutes a day, 3 days a week by July 15th. So the more that you can get to look at these examples and then write your own and putting in your own time, maybe instead of 20 minutes, you want to put in 30 minutes or you want to put in 10 minutes, depending on, your time constraints, it'll work. And then many people don't know or don't, or never do put in a smart goals for their relationships. Yes, we need to do that. And it's very practical. So here's a SMART goal example for improving your relationship with your partner. S for specific, I will express my love to my partner by doing tasks around the house, cooking a nice dinner, or having meaningful conversations before bed. Attainable, by scheduling a 20-minute break on Thursday to reminisce about the good times that we've shared, I'll come up with 3 things to express my love and appreciation for my partner. Relevant, expressing love for my partner will strengthen our relationship and deepen our bond. Time-bound, I will carry out this beautiful ritual on a weekly basis, planned out during a 20-minute break on Thursdays. Here's a tip. This is a great SMART goal, but because it involves a partner, somebody else, please make sure that you say, honey, I'm thinking let's set goals for improving our relationship, and doing something maybe on a weekly basis, on a daily basis. But what do you think about this? Now you can present this and say, what do you think about this? And they can say, I like it. But then you think instead of Thursday, we can do Wednesday? Or maybe on a Sunday, so that it's a discussion that the two of you can have because it involves somebody else. So don't make the mistake of just writing it and say, okay, I have this here, so this is what we're going to do to improve our relationship, because eyes will be rolling and they will say, oh, no, we're not. And then you might think, well, forget it then. They don't want to work on the relationship. No, that's not it. The approach has to be about us, the two of us. What do you think? Can we do this? Let's do that. And then he or she will buy into it. This one is a good one. Favorite one. SMART goal for personal growth. So specific, I will subscribe, follow, and watch one video or listen to one audiobook on the Dr. STEM Be Encouraged channel on YouTube every 15 days for the entire year. Measurable. I aim to complete watching a video or listening to an audiobook every 15 days by spending 30 minutes of my time on the task on a daily basis. Attainable. Adjusting the reading time in the morning hours or before my bedtime. I will make sure that I consistently keep up this habit, as this way it would most likely not interfere with the rest of my daily routine. Relevant. Reading or listening to the audiobooks every day will calm my mind, invigorate my senses, increase my knowledge, and give me a taste of new experiences which I might never get a chance to have on my own. Time bound, my aim is to complete listening to an audiobook or watching a video consistently for 30 minutes every day. It's an exciting goal for me because it involves people coming to that channel and wanting to fulfill a goal of having something brand new every 2 weeks. So I am obligated to make sure that I'm posting something that people can come in and enjoy, every 2 weeks as well. That way I have two postings that I do every 2 weeks, whether it's an audiobook or it's a presentation like this one, or even some form of encouragement that somebody can come in and fulfill their goal. So I hope you take me up on it. And also, in addition to looking at other personal growth programs, that you take a look at the personal growth programs that I have on the Dr. STEM Be Encouraged channel, where you are watching this program actually. All right, SMART goal for a calmer mind. We have to do this. Because mentally, our mental health, we're overwhelmed, people are burned out, people are stressed out. So make sure that when you set your goals, you have one for a calm mind. Specific, I will meditate for 20 minutes each morning. I will start out by meditating for 10 minutes, which I would then gradually build up to 20 minutes. Measurable. The goal is to develop a habit of meditating for 20 minutes within 3 weeks, which I would then use within my morning routine throughout my life. Attainable. I will first start doing 10-minute meditations using a meditation app, which I will then gradually build up to 20 minutes. Relevant. Meditating for 20 minutes every day will bring me numerous conscious and subconscious benefits: better mood, mental clarity, improved physical health, and spiritual elevation. And then time bound, I will set an alert for 6 a.m. or whatever time works for you. Sit with my shoulders relaxed and back and meditate. All righty. So those are the examples. I hope with those, you can either adopt an example or you can now write your own achievable goal. So going through with the steps again: set a goal, make a plan, get to work, stick with it, and then reach your goals. Oh, okay. So the last part, and that's what happens when you're using, PowerPoints, right? So the last part, I was just going to ask you to say, sometimes people will get stuck in setting these goals. So if you get stuck in setting your goals, or just get stuck in not knowing what next step, to work, and you need to work with someone, I'm also a certified coach. As I said, I'm a life coach, career coach, business coach. I'll be happy to do some coaching with you where I can be your accountability partner, but also we can go through, your vision and your goals so that they are measurable and they're achievable, and then you can get the results that you desire. I hope this was, a training that was enlightening for you. Please share it. Come back here, watch it over and over again. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe and invite other people to also subscribe to the channel. Until then, I wish you the best with your goals. May they all come true, and keep at it. Keep at it. This is Dr. STEM. Be encouraged.
Are you ready to live your best life? You deserve to wake up in the morning feeling excited about the day ahead. Don't waste any more time putting off your heart's desires. Embrace your passionate, joyful life with our brand new Unstoppable Renew You Love Your Life 90-day coaching program. Discover what makes your heart sing. Together we'll set meaningful goals and craft a path to a life you absolutely love. Are you ready to be free, fearless, and unstoppable? Visit our website at www.drstemi.com to learn more and book a free discovery call.